Please note this event is being recorded. I would now like to turn the conference over to Sophie Li, Head of Capital Markets. Please go ahead.
Thank you, operator. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. The company's results and the investor relations presentation were released earlier today and are available on the company's IR website at ir.zto.com. On the call today from ZTO are Mr. Meisong Lai, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, and Mrs. Huiping Yan, Chief Financial Officer. Mr. Lai will give a brief overview of the company's business operations and highlights, followed by Mrs. Yan, who will go through the financials and guidance. They will both be available to answer your questions during the Q&A session that follows. I remind you that this call may contain forward-looking statements made under the Safe Harbor provisions of the Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. Such statements are based on management's current expectations in the current market and operating conditions and relate to events that involve known or unknown risks, uncertainties, and other factors, all of which are difficult to predict and many of which are beyond the company's control, which may cause the company's actual results, performance, or achievements to differ materially from those in the forward-looking statements. Further information regarding this and other risks, uncertainties, and factors is included in the company's filings with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. The company does not undertake any obligation to update any forward-looking statement as a result of new information, future events, or otherwise, except as required under law. It is now my pleasure to introduce Mr. Meisong Lai. Mr. Lai will read through his prepared remarks in their entirety in Chinese before I translate for him in English. 赖总请。
大家好，感谢各位参加今天的电话会议。2025年一季度，中通继续保持行业领先的服务质量水平，业务量达成85.4亿件，同比增长 19.1%， 完成调整后净利润 22.6 亿元，同比增长 1.6%。 中通的综合服务质量、规模和盈利能力继续保持行业领先。2025年一季度，行业业务量同比增长 21.6%， 然而低客单价件电商的占比进一步扩大，快递价格竞争依然剧烈。面对增量与征收倒挂的压力，中通以服务质量和业务量为核心，在摒弃不合理的价格竞争前提下，放宽了对低单件的渗透。一方面，我们继续强化中卷运营的标准化和协同性，持续提升全链路时效，并降低单位成本，以快为先，巩固品牌优势，以精为本，提升运营效益。另一方面，我们着重网点赋能，保持整体政策框架的持续性，维护加盟网络稳定性，并进一步加强末端派送能力的建设，塑造长远的竞争优势。值得关注的是，公司在差异化产品与服务效能建设方面所取得的积极成效。首先，中通以持续提升服务品质和触达范围，赢得了电商平台及企业客户的信任与更加深入的合作。一季度散件业务量实现同比 46% 的快速增长，其中逆向物流业务量同比增幅超过 150%。 中通的品牌影响力和客户粘性持续提升，产品结构的优化带来了核心业务单票收入1毛2分的提升。其二，我们在借助数字化运营和责任到岗的有效考核机制，单票卷运加分解成本在一季度同比下降了9分，充分体现了中通坚持做好自己的定力和快速发现问题、解决问题的实干能力。单票运营成本效益的持续释放 和有效的管理费用把控，为中通在激烈的市场竞争中保持健康的利润水平提供了保障。进入2季度，快递行业延续了高速增长的态势，但价格竞争乃在加剧。面对焦灼的竞争环境，我们保持年初制定的战略目标，也就是确保高质量的服务水平，达成高于行业平均的业务量增速，并且实现合理利润。具体工作目标和措施包括以下4个方面：一、提高网络政策的有效性，鼓励省市管理区联动调配全链路资源，结合市场水平制定明确目标，针对性的制定和实施激励机制，在公平合理和统一的大方向下进行必要的分层对待，精准激活新老客户潜力，形成业务量、收益、网络稳定的正向循环。2、提升末端能力和收益，优化网络层次结构，推进站点分解分拨能力的建设，深化责链直送、到角到边和本地生活商业部署等措施，降低末端派件成本，提高散派比例，丰富末端收入，实现站点与业务员收益相增。3、持续优化收入结构，落实电商平台和企业客户对质量的要求，打磨差异化的电商物流产品和供应链服务能力，提升品牌认知和客户心智。4、推进资源最大化利用，更加科学的配置产能投入，激活闲置资源，依托数字化手段优化路由规划、装载力及运营效能，构建资源全生命周期管理体系，进一步挖掘运营效益。23年来，中通从起初不顾摆单的日均单量，到今天故意的体量和固硬的服务质量，从10几个人的团队到今天包括加盟伙伴和业务员在内的几十万人的合作群体。这一跨越式的发展凝聚着全体中通人的智慧和汗水，承载着客户与伙伴的信任与依托，以及国家和社会的关爱和期许。面对当前行业竞争白热化以及业务量结构性的挑战，中通的战略重心是保持服务质量和业务量规模领先的优势，实现合理的利润目标。我们相信快递市场竞争格局正在加速演变，中通将坚持健康可持续发展的原则，坚守同建共享的合作理念，拥抱经验加数据的科技创新，承担利他利社会的企业责任，立足当下，脚踏实地夯实基础，面对未来前瞻布局，构建护城河，以今天的务实进取，铸就明天的百年企业。谢谢。
Hello everyone, thank you for joining today's conference call. In the first quarter of 2025, ZTO maintained its industry-leading service quality, delivered a total parcel volume of 8.5 billion, up 19.1% year-over-year, and achieved an adjusted net income of 2.3 billion, which increased 1.6% year-over-year. Our service quality, scale, and profitability continue to lead the industry. In the first quarter of 2025, the express delivery industry grew its parcel volume by 21.6%. However, the proportion of lower value parcels further enlarged, and price competition continued to intensify. In addressing the misalignment between volume growth and revenue expansion, we remained focused on service quality and volume growth, and while rejecting rational pricing practices, We strategically increased our penetration into the low-value parcel segments. On one hand, we continuously improved end-to-end timeliness and lowered unit costs through process standardization and integration. We were able to lead the way with speed to solidify brand advantages and leverage excellence to further efficiency gains. On the other hand, as a part of the strategy to build long-term competitive advantages, we beefed up efforts to empower our network partners through keeping the policies relatively stable, yet urging improvements in last-mile service capabilities and cost competitiveness. Notably, the company has significant progress in developing differentiated products and services. First, ZTO earned greater trust and opportunity to deepen collaboration with e-commerce platforms and their enterprise customers through continuously improved service quality and coverage. Retail parcel volume increased 46% year-over-year in first quarter, with reverse logistics volume surged over 150%. We strengthened brand awareness and customer loyalty. Enhanced product mix brought a 12-cent positive shift in ASP for core express services in first quarter. Second, through digitization and accountability matrix, unit transportation and sorting costs decreased by 9 cents year-over-year, demonstrating ZTO's commitment to self-improvement as well as its ability to detect problems and come up with practical solutions effectively. Combining continuous cost efficiency gains and the disciplined SG&A spending, we maintained control over profitability amid intense competition. Entering the second quarter, the express delivery industry kept a high growth momentum, yet the price competition further intensified. Despite heated competitive landscape, we remain committed to strategic goals we set at the beginning of this year. That is, uphold high quality, outpace industry average volume growth, and attain a reasonable level of profit. These specific initiatives and measures include the following 4 aspects. First, enhance effectiveness of network policy by promoting cross-regional collaboration and resource allocation from end to end. Set targets that are clear and aligned with market dynamics as well as tailor-made to include performance-specific incentive mechanisms. Under the principles of fairness, transparency, and uniformity, we will adopt tiered approach to specifically unlock volume potential by both new and existing customers, fostering a productive model that encompasses volume, profit, and stability. Second, strengthen last-mile capabilities and profitabilities by layering or delayering partner network structure where appropriate, advancing the build-out of network partner sorting capability and efficiencies, furthering initiatives such as establishment of direct linkage between outlets and last-mile posts, offering sufficient profit share to incentivize couriers to service retail parcels, and integrating commercial opportunities from local living. These efforts aim to reduce last-mile costs, increase retail parcel penetration, and enrich income diversification for network partners, all of which aims to drive growth in earnings for both outlet operators and couriers. Third, continuously optimize revenue mix by meeting the quality demands by e-commerce platforms and enterprise clients, refining differentiated e-commerce logistics products and supply chain management capabilities, enhancing brand recognition and customer perception. Last but not the least, maximize resource utilization through systematic and scientific resource planning, procurement and deployment, activate underutilized resources, optimize route planning and load rates through digitization and data analytics, and establishment of a life cycle management framework to unlock potential for greater operational efficiencies. Over the past 23 years, ZTO has evolved from handling less than 100 packages per day to processing over 100 million parcels today with uncompromising industry-leading service quality. And we started out with just a dozen or so employees and became a vast and collaborative network of over tens and thousands of partners and constituents. This transformation reflected the collective wisdom and dedication by everyone under the ZTO brand, and the embodiment of hope and trust by partners and the customers, as well as desire and expectations from the country and the society. In response to today's white-hot competition and the structural challenges in volume composition, ZTO's strategic priority is to solidify our leadership in quality and scale while achieving a reasonable level of profit. We believe the shift in competitive landscape is accelerating. ZTO will adhere to our healthy and sustainable growth principles, reinforce our shared success philosophy, embrace data plus experience-driven innovation, and fulfill our social responsibility and create values. Remain grounded in the present now. We anchor ourselves with foundational work and the tasks at hand. Inspired for future prospects, we proactively plan and fortify strategic long-lasting modes. Being practical and progressive, we aim to build an enduring enterprise that will strive for generations to come. Next, let's welcome our CFO, Ms. Yan, to present the financial results and outlook.
Thank you, Chairman Lai, and thank you, Sophie. Hello to everyone on the call. As I go through our financials, please note that unless specifically mentioned, all numbers quoted are in RMB, and percentage changes refer to year-over-year comparisons. Detailed information on our financial performance, unit economics, and cash flow are posted on our website, and I'll go through some of the highlights here. In the first quarter, we adhered to the principle of profitable growth and continued to improve the quality of services and customer satisfaction. Our parcel volume grew 19.1% to reach 8.5 billion, and we achieved 2.3 billion adjusted net income, which increased 1.6%. Total revenue increased 9.4% to 10.9 billion for the first quarter. ASP for our core express delivery business decreased 7.8% or 11 cents, given intensified competition. The 6 cents impact of decrease in average weight per parcel and 16 cents in incremental volume incentives were partially offset by the 12 cents positive mix shift from increased proportion of KA volume. Total cost of revenue was 8.2 billion, which increased 17.9%. Overall unit cost for the core express delivery business remained flat at 94 cents. Combined unit cost of sorting and transportation decreased 9 cents for the quarter, benefiting from economies of scale and various cost productivity gain initiatives. Specifically, unit cost of line haul transportation decreased 13.2% to 41 cents, driven by more effective route planning in conjunction with improvements in fleet operations. Unit sorting costs decreased 10.4% to 27 cents, benefiting from improvements in automation and labor efficiency. Other costs of revenue included KA-related pickup and delivery fulfillment costs paid to our network partners, and on a total volume denominator basis, it increased 10 cents, which was in line with KA volume increases. Gross profit decreased 10.4% to 2.7 billion, and gross profit margin rate decreased 5.4 points to 24.7%. SG&A, excluding SBC, decreased 13.5% to 517 million. SG&A expenses, excluding SBC, as a percentage of revenue, decreased to 4.7%, reflecting strong corporate cost efficiency. Income from operations increased 6.1% to 2.4 billion, and associated margin rate decreased 0.7 points to 22.1%. Adjusted EBITDA increased 0.7% to 3.7 billion, and operating cash flow was 2.4 billion for the quarter, which increased 16.3%. Capital expenditure for Q1 totaled 2 billion, and we anticipate our annual CapEx in 2025 to be between 5.5 to 6 billion. Now moving on to business outlook. Based on our assessment of today's market conditions and business plan performance outlook, we are reiterating our 2025 full-year parcel volume guidance of 40.8 to 42.2 billion, which equates to a 20 to 24% increase year over year. These estimates represent management's current and preliminary view, which are subject to change. Now this concludes our prepared remarks. Operator, please open the line for questions. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now begin the question and answer session. To ask a question, you may press star, then 1 on your touch-tone phone. If you are using a speakerphone, please pick up your handset before pressing the keys. If at any time your question has been addressed and you would like to withdraw your question, please press star, then 2. We ask that you limit yourself to 2 questions. At this time, we'll pause momentarily to assemble our roster. The first question today comes from Ronald Keung with Goldman Sachs. Please go ahead.
谢谢赖总、严总和 Sophie。也看到这个一季度这个稳健的表现。那想听一下我们在这个包裹增长和这个我们的目标。那是不是2季度以来这个竞争格局加大？我们认为这个竞争，我们保持稳定利润的这个利润额的这个目标会不会有变化？就是我们如果要保持，比如要比行业快的这个全年的目标，我们是不是要加大一些可能给这个整个网络的一些量的一些投入，包括一些给加盟商的支持，这个我们的合作商的这支持。那所以第一想听一下我们最近的这个2季度竞争情况和我们这个要达成全年这个目标对这个利润有什么想法？第二就看到我们散件这边还是有不错的一个增长。那想听一下我们逆向物流和这个那些散件的这个占比和我们对这块业务的一个目标。谢谢，我翻译一下。Thank you, management, for taking my question. The first is want to hear about the competition, particularly into the second quarter, given our target, which is to still grow faster than the industry volumes, seeing that the first quarter, I think we were slightly slower than the industry. So want to hear how much of investments are we willing to make and take to achieve this volume target, and what will be the implications to absolute profit for the remainder of the year. Second is we've seen a very good growth for your retail parcels and also reverse logistics. Want to hear the scale of this business and some of the main targets for this business. Thank you.
感谢你的提问啊，这个包裹增长的目标，今年呢，我们公司的战略就这个服务质量、业务规模。那开年以来呢，我们确实做了一些政策的调整，增程量政策的调整。这些举措呢，是我们的这个业务量增速呢，比去年要好一点。但是一季度 行业增长21.6%，我们增长了19.1%，还没有赶上大盘的这个拉起。这里呢有一些因素，就是市场竞争确实比较惨烈这个针对性的竞争也存在，那业务量的增速呢有一定的波动，但公司呢还是有信心维持全年这个408到420亿的总量，就20到24的业务量的增长的目标。这个是业务量的问题。刚才你讲到了这个散件的问题，散件呢也是我们这个公司重点的工作，就是散件，因为散件增加，我们的业务员收入会增加，整体的网络的稳定性就会增长。散件的情况呢，一季度我们日均这个散件规模达到了600万同比增长超过46%，这个是高于我们整体19.1%的增长的。下步呢，我们还会持续深化与电商平台在逆向件领域的合作通过这个储备运力、网点培训、激励政策等措施，保障服务能力升级，扩大合作区域这个近段时间我们散件的件量也是有明显增长的。这个价格的情况呢，这个散件这整个行业也都在重视这个逆向件的价格有所下降，但市场增长快服务质量的门槛高我们的渗透力呢还在快速提升这个未来呢，我们可以在这个逆向上面呢这个更多的占比。散件呢，我们通过服务能力的提升，就是业务员呢这上门能力上门揽收、上门派件能力的提升我们相信呢，就这个今年呢会取得比较好的效果。谢谢。
Thank you for your question, and I will translate for Chairman's answer. First of all, our goal to achieve our volume growth, and this is still consistent with our strategy, ensuring quality of services and focusing on volume leadership and expanding that leadership while achieving reasonable level of profit. The most recent performance, particularly in first quarter, while we maintained overall structure of the network policies to be stable, we specifically introduced the existing volume versus incremental volume policies to incentivize our network partners. So on an overall result basis, we have narrowed the gap between our volume growth to industry average. Certainly there's still a gap, and then we intend to continue to narrow that because our overall annual strategy remains, and our goal or our guidance for the total year continue to is still staying as we reiterated our guidance. So for the second part of the question, we have focused on upgrading our revenue structure and particularly achieved great results as associated with the retail parcel and particularly reverse logistic parcels. In the first quarter, our daily parcel volume averaged around 6 million. This is a year-over-year increase of 45%, which is significantly outpacing the overall market growth. And among these, we have the reverse logistics exceeded daily volume of 3.5 million and a year-over-year growth over 150%. So these are our continued focus as we deepen our cooperation with major e-commerce platforms, which are also expanding their reverse logistic operations, so that we are focusing on measures such as reversing transportation capacity. We train our network partners to be more efficient in meeting the quality requirements and implementing incentive policies to ensure service upgrades and expand the operating region's coverage. So as of late, we are looking at our parcel volume increasing even more significantly, reaching towards 8 million or even at peak days over 10 million parcels a day. In connection with the competition, the reverse parcels per unit price also sustained pressure. However, the reverse logistics services has a high barrier for entrance. ZTO's early mover effort, as well as our focus and deep relationship that's built with the platforms, will allow us to continue to outpace the rest, because everybody else, our peers, are also focusing on this area. We hope to continue to improve the capacity as well as responsiveness to on two-door delivery and two-door pickup to help our couriers in servicing our customers properly. As you are aware that improvements of our network partner as well as our couriers' earnings through increasing their proportion of retail parcel to total delivery or e-commerce parcel, their earnings will significantly improve, and that adds to the stability of our overall network. Ronald, I hope these answers your question.
谢谢赖总严总。
The next question comes from Chinlei with Morgan Stanley. Please go ahead.
Thanks. 赖总，严总，Sophie 早上好。我有2个小问题。那第一个小问题其实是关于这个单位的收入和成本。那单位收入这一端，其实我们看到这个季度我们的单位的这个 volume incentives 去到了这个1毛6，那去年一季度可能大概在4分钱，全年大概在2分钱。就想请教一下，往后看今年全年我们应该怎么去看这个 volume incentives 这个趋势全年的这个 forecast 应该是怎么样？然后在成本端，其实看到一季度的这个单位成本的下降还是比年初预计的要更快一些。然后想请教一下，就是说考虑到一季度的这个单位成本的下降，也考虑到今年看起来这个油价也会相对比较的低，我们今年对这个单位成本的这个全年的一个展望有没有一些变化有没有一些新的指引这是第一个小问题。那第二个小问题想请教一下这个公司对于这个 AI 应用的一些进展。那我们也知道中通其实在这个 AI 的应用层面一直是非常积极的拓展它在这个管理和经营层面的一些应用想请教一下 就是今年到现在有没有一些新的应用和进展，同时也想请教一下，就是这些新的AI 的应用会怎么样去影响我们未来这个在行业当中的竞争和盈利的这个情况那我来翻译一下我的问题。Thank you, Lai Zong, Yan Zong, and Sophie for taking my question. I have 2 questions. The first question is about unit revenue and cost. On the unit revenue side, we have seen that in the first quarter, the volume incentives went to around 16 cents. This was higher than about 4 cents in the first quarter of last year and 2 cents for the full year of last year. So going forward, how should we forecast unit volume incentives going forward for the full year? And on the unit cost side, we see that in the first quarter, if we exclude the impact from KA, the unit cost reduction seems to be more significant than we anticipated at the beginning of the year. So taking into consideration of the first quarter performance and also seems like the fuel price are stay relatively low this year. Do we have any like updated forecast in terms of unit cost reduction for the full year? And my second question is about AI. So we know that ZTO has been very proactively explore the application of AI into its management and operations. So maybe can you update us? Is there any progress with the AI's application into business year to date? And going forward, how do you see the potential impact from AI's application, the merge of AI with our business, the impact from that front in terms of our competitive edge versus peers and in terms of like earnings performance? Thank you.
We've lost connection with our speakers, and they've joined back in.
Yep.
好了，可以。So we will continue in Chinlei's question.
他在线上吗？
Can you hear us, operator?
Yes, your line is coming in.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
谢谢你的提问啊。这个单票收入下降，从另一个方面反映就是市场竞争激烈，所以这个一方面呢，我们在散件业务这个方面是增长的。第二个呢，我们在总体的运营成本管控方面也是做的确实也是可以的。那下降的2个原因，一个就是市场竞争肯定是比去年前端的价格比去年更低。第二个呢，就是产品的结构，就是轻小件的占比有所增加，就单位重量有所下降，所以单位收入这个下降。那趋势呢，我们肯定是保持合理的节奏。一方面呢，就是主要还是要提升市场的质量，就是服务的质量让中通更有议价权。第二个方面呢，就是我们也要一定合理的数量，所以我们会把握好份额跟利润跟质量的这个平衡度。成本方面这个确实一季度我们单票运输成本下降了6分，分解成本下降了3分这个一个是业务规模效应，还有重量有所下降这个主要还是得益于持续的降本增效的措施。 第一是精细化管理，我们持续强化运营细分环节的标准化管理，设定科学成本标准，借助信息化工具实施追踪并对比数据，更及时发现异常，更精准定位优化方向。第二呢是优化薪酬设计，我们提升了岗位工资中的绩效工资的比例，让绩效与运营效率、工作难度、工作量挂钩，激发员工的工作积极性。第三，责任到人，我们将驾驶员与车辆绑定，并通过票券溯源系统定位操作流程，实现岗位责任到岗到人，同时设有明确的奖惩机制，确保每个环节都实现规范操作。未来我们将借助科技工具的升级，推动细节管理从被动向主动转变，实现更精准、更前置的管控，同时推广智能化设备，降低对人力的依赖，进一步提升中选环节降本空间。此外，我们还将更加注重全链路成本优化，通过强化网点能力建设，推进末单责链，充分挖掘网点单的成本潜力。你的第二个问题是中通在 IR 人工智能方面的应用。人工智能呢，已经在中通的多个场景中得到广泛应用。在分解场地，我们借助机器视觉技术，有效减少了触分。在路由规划方面，通过监控技术与先进算法，实现了线路的优化。在分单环节，实现了4单码的自动生成。我们还推出了大模型知识库，员工可以快速精准的查询工作规范。未来我们还将积极探索人工智能在末单配送、无人车等领域的应用，持续推动业务的智能化升级。谢谢。
Thank you for your question. The first question relates to our unit revenue and cost. The SPA decline largely attribute to two aspects of the Q1 market environment. One is the competition really reached white hot stage. The pricing at the front end is continuously sustained pressure from competition. And then two, the proportion of lower weight or small parcels continue to increase, and that both of these give rise to the necessity of, first of all, increased incentives to meet the competition, some of which are specifically targeted to ZTO. And then two, we do have the positive impact from the reverse NKA volume that is growing significantly and outpacing the total market. And that contributed about 12 cents to offset the volume incentives and weight per parcel decline. So going forward, we continue to emphasize on the fact that volume is important. Certainly it need to be supported by high quality of services. So balanced approach continues to be our theme, and when necessary, the volume will be the prioritized focus. So with high quality of services, the price and the volume will be adjusted accordingly based on the market condition and competitive situations in specific markets. And that is our intention to go forward. So again, in overall, for your first question relating to revenue or per parcel unit revenue, the pricing is largely driven by competition. On the cost side, we have continued to move forward on our cost efficiency gain initiatives. In the first quarter, the parcel per unit transportation cost decreased by 6 cents and sorting decreased by 3 cents. These cost reduction was both driven by economy of scale from the growth in the business volume and, as I mentioned earlier, decline in weight and continued cost cutting helped in a way to improve our operating efficiency measures. Specifically, we refined our management of the operating process, continue to strengthen standardization of each segment throughout the whole process. And we also scientifically set cost standards as benchmark, utilizing information technology tools to track and compare data in real time, which allows us to detect anomalies more promptly and pinpoint optimization methodologies or solutions more accurately. Second, we also optimized compensation structure. We increased the proportion of performance-based pay in our wage structure, linking incentives to operational efficiency, task complexity, and workload, thereby motivating employees to work more proactively and more efficiently. And third, we set responsibilities in a much more granular level. We have paired up drivers to specific vehicles and leveraged a parcel tracing system to locate along operational process issues or problems that arise. This ensures that responsibility is assigned to each position with clear reward and reprimand mechanism to ensure standardized operations at every step to the extent possible. In the future, we will continue to upgrade and leverage technology tools to transition from reactive to active management and achieving more precise and proactive control of the entire process quality. And at the same time, we will promote further use of smart technology equipment to reduce dependency on manual labor and further expand cost reduction potential in the transit process. Additionally, we will place greater focus on optimizing costs across the entire production chain by enhancing outlet infrastructure and strengthening the direct linkage between outlets and last mile post, which will help further reduce delivery or pickup cost throughout the entire process at the outlet level. The next question relates to our AI application in our business operations. AI has been widely applied in multiple scenarios at ZTO. For example, in our sorting operation, machine vision technology has effectively reduced sorting errors. In our route planning, as another example, our monitoring technology and advanced algorithm have optimized delivery route planning. And in the order allocation process, our 4-segment barcode recognition capability are automatically generating much granular level of delivery directions and help us to launch a larger knowledge-based model, allowing not only our employees to quickly identify work inquiries or guidelines, as well as the network couriers to more efficiently planning their delivery route so that their service capacity and capability will be freed up to further focus on retail parcels. Looking ahead, we'll continue to actively explore the application of artificial intelligence in last mile delivery, autonomous vehicles, and other areas to continuously, at the right pace, matching technology with the operational upgrade and improvements so that we will continue to harvest benefits from ever improving technological advancements. Thank you.
Thank you very much, 赖总、严总。
The next question comes from Amy Han with Citigroup. Please go ahead.
赖总、严总、Sophie 早，我是Citi 的 Amy 韩，感谢接受我的提问。我这边主要是2个问题，一个也是跟成本相关的，就是刚才严总、赖总也有提到，就是我们在直链这一块是会加大投入的，所以想请问一下我们1季度在直链这一块的一个进展，然后直链这一块对于我们加盟商还有我们全年度降本对于今年的一个预期幅度大概有多少？然后第2个问题是关于限量还有市场竞争的，就是618也快到了嘛，所以我们今年对于618的一个限量增速的预期大概是多少？然后我们这个第一个旺季到来，这个价格竞争会不会有所放缓？然后今年的价格竞争也是比前几年要来的更早，也更为激烈，所以我们认为这个行业的价格下行还有多少的空间呢？Let me translate for myself. So the first question is about cost. So what is our progress in the direct linkage in the first quarter, and how large can the direct linkage, or let's say the whole value chain cost optimization, contribute to our unit cost cuts in the franchise side and also in the whole value chain this year? And the second question is related to the parcel volume growth and the market competition. So the June 18th shopping festival is approaching. So what is our expectation on the parcel volume for the shopping festival, the volume growth, and will the price competition be from it in the first peak season? And because the price competition came earlier and more intense in this year, so what is our view on the room for further ASP drop for the industry?
好的，谢谢你的提问啊。这个我们今年呢，其实内部把这个折链工作呢当了一项主要的工作。那为什么要折链呢？折链就是要降低这个派件成本增加网点的盈利能力。我们今年的目标是末单折链，就是站点折接到驿站的要做到42.6%的目标。理论上呢，就是派件最少可以降1毛钱。那我们今年超过400亿件，就是网点可以增加收入40亿。这个我们希望通过优化网点布局，推广折分折送，提升末端的折链比例。我们具体的措施呢，因为现在这个智能化的程度是比较高的。那过去呢，我们小网点这个比如说1万票5000票的，那我们今年呢重点推了这个宅代机，宅代机呢1个小时大概可以超出8-9千票钱。那3万票网点的成本是最低的，它的操作成本是要2分钱，再加场地跟这个水电费呢，有可能就3分钱，拉回去5分钱，大概就是1毛钱左右。 这一项工作呢是一项比较长期的我们相信一季度的情况来看，包括到目前为止中通进展网点的进展还是非常的迅速的，所以总体网点的降本这个也是在大力的推进。我们希望呢就是这个今年要超过42.6的目标我们能够要实现。你讲的第二个竞争的问题呢，其实这个整个行业我相信都有压力就这个友商也好，我们这个整个行业，因为确实今年前单价格的下降幅度是比较大的。第二呢，这个轻小件的占比也是在提升的，所以这个从每家发的一季度这个财报里面都能够看出来，总体的盈利呢就是也是有所这个承压。其实越是这个时候，作为快递从业人员来讲，越要有信心，越要看到希望，因为这个网点的稳定和业务员的收入的增长才是这个行业稳定的基础。所以从中通来讲呢，尽量做好这个中心站点跟业务员的平衡问题、利益分配问题。我们有信心这个把这些工作做好这个保持网络的稳定发展迎接这个更好的未来。谢谢。
Thank you very much for your question. First of all, on our direct linkage from outlets to the last mile post, a little bit of progress. This year we have focused on optimizing outlet layouts and promoting direct sorting and direct delivery to increase the proportion of end-to-end direct linkage. Now, this is a critical mission for our overall business focus. The goal is to clearly reduce the last mile delivery cost and increase the outlet's earning. Our goal of 42.8 to 42.2 billion goal of total year annual volume would translate into about 4 billion of additional cost savings, hence earning improvements for the network partner at the outlet level. So given an example, for the work that we put in mostly relates to introducing sorting equipment to help improve the process efficiency of our outlets. On average, we have installed a certain equipment that will automate the sortation work done by the outlets, and typically that single machine can sort 8,000 to 9,000 packages per operation time frame. And for those outlets that has at least 30,000 packages per day are suitable for installing these equipment. So to give you some specific examples, these will help reduce the sorting cost, and based on the current situation of 2 cents for the location fixed cost is about 3 cents. If you bring the package from our sorting super sorting center to the outlets, the transportation cost will be about 5 cents. So this together, 10 cents saving equates to the 4 billion that I referred to earlier. So this process of establishing direct linkage is aimed at not to our profit statement, but to our network partners to ensure their ability to improve efficiency, reduce cost, and secure or solidify the network stability. Because as you know, as competition heats up and into today's white hot condition, it becomes ever so important to maintain trust, hope, and belief of the network partners. So our strategy is very clear. As the entire industry sustains pressure from the profit, even though volumes are growing as a total, yet the front-end pricing decreasing and the proportion of small and light parcels continue to increase, everybody, including ZTO, everybody in the industry, are feeling the pinch. And as you might be able to see from everybody's earnings announcement. So we are focusing on ensuring the connectivity between the super sorting center to outlets to the network couriers are properly set so that the interests are balanced and aligned. The division of duty as well as the rewards are suited for today's competitive environment, because without a stable network, we have no future to speak of. So on that, our goal being reiterated for the full year as it draw near to the second half of the year, we would be continue to monitor the market, be flexible and disciplined in our pricing practice, and support our network partners in their stability as well as long-term trust and belief so that we can all work together to bring in, after the storm, normalized market growth in the long run.
好的，谢谢赖总严总。
Thank you.
This concludes our question and answer session. I would like to turn the conference back over to management for any closing remarks.
Thank you, everybody, again for joining today's call. As we mentioned, that we continue to focus on being our best and setting our sights on, of course, the competition at hand, and as well as at the same time allocating necessary resources to build strong momentum in narrowing the gap to the industry growth in volume, as well as building for a stronger foundation for the future of our business. And we welcome your question and discussions with us in the next after today's call, and look forward to speaking to you all.
The conference is now concluded. Thank you for attending today's presentation. You may now disconnect.